Hey everyone. So we just kind of went through the part of putting in our quarterly reports, and I know that makes a lot of people nervous. And along with starting the school year, I noticed a lot more traffic coming through. If I need examples, I don't know what to do. How do I do this? And I know a lot of people on the back end are like, hey, send me a message. I have examples. I have this or that. And it is helpful, but I think I'm just going to do a quick video showing you my process of what I do. This is not a how-to. This is the only way you can do it. Everyone's is going to look a little bit different because all of us have different curriculum and different school districts, but this is what my thought process and how this works for me, and I've never had any issues. One thing I like to tell people is all of this extra paperwork that you have to do for New York State is just extra paperwork. It's not anything that you don't already do. It's just that you're required to write it in these forms. It comes a lot across as a lot more intimidating than it actually is. But once you do your first one or two, it's really not that difficult. I personally don't mind doing the extra paperwork for New York because I'm not doing anything wrong. I know I'm homeschooling for the right reasons, and I actually appreciate New York State for having these additional requirements because there are people who do not homeschool for the right reasons. So again, this is just me sharing my process and thought process. If you are wanting more specific legal advice, I recommend talking to your school district, going to hslda.org, or if you are military affiliated, reach out to your school liaison. I really wish they would change the name of that to Education Liaison. Here at Fort Drum, we have an amazing school liaison. She's very informed and very informative. And if you have a question and she doesn't know the answer, she will find that out for you. This is going to be for elementary students. I don't have upper grade kiddos, so I know that there are some additional requirements for those upper grades that will not fulfill this. So just for clarification, I am not responsible for anything that comes forward in your homeschool journey. If something that you fill out based on this video ends up coming back to you, but I don't think that it will. I have never had any issues. So I'm gonna go ahead, if it'll let me here, share my screen to show you guys kind of what I do. So this is an example of an individualized home instruction plan, and I just download this from HSLDA, and it just has the general information. You'll notice the quarter dates. A lot of times people stick to what the school district does for their quarter dates. We homeschool all year round, so mine look a little bit different. Don't be intimidated by these dates. This is the dates that work for you. So for us, you can see the dates listed there. And don't forget on that third quarter one, if you have testing that's due, you need to state in your third quarter report or email, this is the testing you are planning on doing, and here is who is implementing it. It's probably going to be you, but you're supposed to put that in on the third quarter. And then for your fourth quarter report, when you submit that, you would also submit your test results if you have testing that is up for that year. I have forgotten to do that in the third quarter, and it's never been an issue. I just email the representative with the school and go, oh my gosh, I forgot to do this. It's fine. So here is what the HSLDA form looks like. You guys can download this. I definitely recommend becoming an HSLDA member, especially for those in the military, just simply because we move around so much and the legal requirements for homeschool in every state is different. And I just really enjoy that I kind of have them in my back pocket. I've even had Zoom meetings with different individuals from HSLDA speaking about different legal requirements in terms of co-ops and things. They're a really great organization in terms of really having your back. So all I have done here is listed the subjects that are required for New York State and have listed what curriculum we are using, and then with additional worksheets and videos as needed based on level assessments. Nothing crazy. I have had friends here in the local area who have listed their curriculum or listed, if they don't have a specific curriculum, have listed kind of what they're covering. And the school district has come back and said, hey, can you give us a little bit more information? All I do in that instance, in other states, I've done the same thing. I just copy the table of contents. So we use the good and the beautiful for math. And I literally just copy this and send it into the school district or representative, whoever is requesting that information, because these are the topics that we are going over. And that should be a part of any curriculum that you are purchasing. If you are creating your own, that's going to be a little bit more complicated. But just like, oh, I don't think. Oh, I did write a curriculum that I got here, but you'll see in my quarter report when I move over to there, I don't necessarily list the curriculum. I just talk about the things that we are doing. So if your school district comes back to you and they're like, hey, we don't recognize this curriculum, can we get more information? Or we see you're not using a curriculum, although it might be extremely annoying, they're just trying to make sure that you're teaching concepts, right? And a lot of times for our homeschool families, our kids are testing really great and above what the peers are, their own peers, but they're just kind of doing that double checking. And I know times we can take offense to that and it can seem to be like a little intrusive. And that's totally okay to feel that way. And that's okay to contact HSLDA and be like, hey, is this legal? They're asking for this. There's nothing wrong with that. But 9 times out of 10, they're just trying to make sure that you have curriculum that is covering topics for that age group. So this is all I submit. This is the plan, and then your intent to homeschool letter. I didn't download an example. It's literally just your children's information saying that you as the family are planning to homeschool. So I submit this and my intent to homeschool letter at the summer, at the same time that I am putting in my fourth quarter. I just submit it all at once, makes it a little easier. So going over to what a quarter report looks like, these forms might all look a little bit different. HSLDA has one that you can also download. This is one specifically from the school district that we are attached to. They just have the information up here, and you can see I've listed the good and the beautiful level 1 review refresher here for topics. I'm literally just putting things down that are in here. I just like every 5th or 10th one, depending on what lesson we're on by the time we reach that quarterly report, I'm just going over those learning topics. That's it. Well, this one's for English, but that topics, I'm literally just listing things from the table of contents. Down on science, I didn't really say that we were using a specific curriculum. Now, over on this, I believe, yeah, so we do use classical conversations, but also we kind of use a variety of different things that I didn't list on here. That's another question that people have a lot. Okay, well, I've decided halfway through the year that I no longer want to use this level 1, the good and the beautiful curriculum. We've switched to something completely different. All you have to do is go back to this form that you submitted to the school district and refill that out to the correct curriculum and resubmit it. It's that simple. They'll file it in the folder and call it good. So going back over to the quarterly report, I'm just listing, the curriculum that we're doing in subtopics, reading 5 books a week, continuing with cursive, typing, just really the things that we're doing. And I know other homeschool parents who have a list on their phone, and every field trip that they're doing, every outing that they're going to, they're marking that down and they're writing learning objectives that their child has been exposed to and learned during that time. I don't go that detailed with it. I know that my kiddos do enough that I don't feel like I need to list each individual thing. So a lot of these are pretty general. Main study on Africa and geography, introduction to ancient times. If they want specifics, they will ask for it. And I would just go back to my IHIP and say, okay, what did I write down? Oh, all right. The Good and the Beautiful and Classical Conversation Cycle 3. So then I would provide them with what that looks like in terms of a table of contents or an overview. So you don't have to get really crazy with this quarterly report. For my kids' ages, we aren't necessarily calculating grades yet based on scores. So I'm just putting A's in here. This was a B. I was trying to black out some things that I needed to edit one more thing to save it. We were kind of struggling with some piano lessons and barely started on electric guitar. So I just put a B. I don't really think it matters here. You'll see for physical education, we don't really have a curriculum. I'm just listing the sports that he's done. I list the summer camps that we're doing. We had a fire safety prevention day. I just listed fire safety. You can go as general or as detailed as you want. And like I've stated before, some school districts might want a little bit more information, but if you do less and then they ask for it, then you can change it. Now, the beauty of these forms is now that I've had this filled out, all I do every single quarter is go in and I click the next quarter and I change these topics or whatever we're doing, and I download it again and submit it. I use this form for, what have we done? 2 years of homeschooling. So I've used these forms twice now, just changing the quarter and the date. And the same thing for the IHIP. I just changed the information at the top. That's it. So that's just a general overview of the process that I do. Everyone's is going to look a little bit different, but I hope that, for some of us that are a little nervous about submitting these quarter reports and IHIPs, that this helps you. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out. But it's really more intimidating. It seems more intimidating than it actually is. Like once you get one or two of these under your belt, it's not that big of a deal. I just set an alarm on my phone for like a week before, and typically I procrastinate until like the day before it's due. But I have had times where I report this late and it's not that big of a deal. They just say received and they file it. So that is it. So I hope that helps. Have a good day.